Lisa Farley, religion. I think it's quite an interesting point. I've been really struggling with others saying you can't be spiritualist and Christian. Who says that? Heaven and hell. I believe in God and Jesus and Christ, my Saviour. Can't I believe you can speak without spirit? Can't I believe you can speak spirit without feeling non-Christian? Do you know what? Lisa, you can be whatever you want to be, right? And that's why I don't bring. I try not to bring religion into my work, into my readings, because in this spiritualist community, talking real now, there's so much fucking. Sorry, I swore. Sorry, but it's a bit of a trigger point for me because there's so much snobbery in the spiritualist movement, which really gets on my nerves because there is no rule book to say you cannot be a Christian and be spiritualist. There are some people that say you can't be a spiritualist and not believe in God. So there's two sides to it, right? There are some like you, which said, no, you can't be spiritualist and believe in God. There are some say you can't be spiritualist and don't believe in God. You believe in whatever you want to believe, right? No one has the right to say to you, you need to do this to believe in this, you need to do that to believe in that. That's all BS for me. And I know some mediums at my church who do not believe in God or Jesus whatsoever, but they are still a medium. But that's all right. That's their belief system. On the other hand, there are people at the church who are spiritualists, they are mediums, and they always bring God into their opening prayer, into their addresses, because that's their belief, right? Both is fine. Whatever you want to believe in. That's why I don't preach to people, because it is an individual thing, right? Some people say you have to believe in spirit because you have to believe in God if you're a spiritualist, because a medium's gift comes from God. Some say our gift just comes from the spirit world. So there are so many varying different opinions out there that you have to go with what you that's what I do is go with what you resonate with. If your soul resonates with Jesus and God, absolutely go for it. If your soul doesn't resonate with it, then that's also fine. There is no rule book to say you have to believe this, that. I just don't like all the snobbery that's out there. It's like, what, you think you're better because you don't believe in God, or you do? It's like, people, do what you want. Life is, no, it's your life, no one else's. So me personally, I was brought up Catholic, right? So I've had the baptism, I've had the first Holy Communion, I've had the confirmation, I've had it all, right? And I had to go to church almost every bloody day, going to Catholic school when I was younger. So I was brought up Catholic, but I don't bring that into my spiritualist work because I've moved from Catholicism to spiritualism, because I don't necessarily believe in that kind of stuff now for my own personal reasons, right? So I don't bring that in. If I do an opening prayer, if I talk to whoever upstairs, I will address it as my angels, guides and helpers. I won't say, oh Lord help me. I will say angels, guides and helpers. That's just how, for me, how it works for me, right? There are some spiritualists out there who are pagan. So there's so many varying different things out there, and you can just do whatever you want, right? So just do it with what you resonate with. I don't necessarily resonate with Catholicism anymore. I always have that base, that foundation of it, but it's, I don't bring that in because, religion is a very personal thing. So that's the way I look at it anyway. There's no judgment from anybody, if not from my side anyway. You do what you want to do, right? But I don't bring it into my work. But I think a lot of the time though, I think it's really funny. I think we talk about the same thing, but just use a different language. So when a Catholic says, oh, I'm going to heaven, I say, I'm going to the spirit world. Or someone says, oh, you're going to hell, say, well, no, that person will go to the lower echelons of the spirit world. Whether you want to call it hell or not, that's your choice. But I see it as, in the spirit world, there are different levels, right? It's not one level. You have the higher echelons, the middle, and you have the lower echelons, which you might consider to be hell. So you're talking about the same thing. It's really interesting, but different language. But you have those people that are snobby about it, that their language is right. Well, it's not, because can you prove it? No, you can't. So you do what you want to do, Lisa Farley. You do what you're called. You do what you're called to do, right? Never mind anybody else. Never mind anybody else.